get started, coming into our comfortable seated position, letting your spine become nice and long, gently closing your eyes, letting your hands rest on your knees, and begin focusing inward on your breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Just keeping your focus on your breathing, allowing your mind to become still, and washing away all the cares and worries of the day. And we'll use the breath now to warm up neck, shoulders, and spine. Deeply inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, bringing your chin towards your chest, elongating the back of the neck. Inhale, bringing the head back to center. And exhale, tipping the head back, lifting the chin towards the sky, stretching the front of the neck. Inhale again to center. And as you exhale, turning the head to the right, extending your chin over your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, turning all the way over to the left. Inhale, back to center. And as you exhale, bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder, keeping your shoulders down and relaxed. Spine is still nice and long, stretching the left side of the neck. And then extending that left arm diagonally towards the ground. Really lengthen out through the fingertips. Inhale, bring fingertips up. And as you exhale, pressing the palm out, stretching the forearm. And with your next inhale, bringing the hand to the knee and your head back to center. Taking an extra inhale here to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, bringing left ear towards left shoulder. Again, keeping your shoulders down, spine is lifting, stretching the right side of the neck. Now extending that right arm diagonally towards the ground. Inhale, bringing the fingertips up. And exhale, pressing the palm out. And with your next inhale, bringing the hand to the knee and your head back to center. And now warming up the shoulders with some shoulder rolls towards the back, starting with just small circles and then gradually increasing the circle size. You could also use the breath here, inhaling as the shoulders come up, and exhaling as they press back and down. And just let all that stress release. And then reversing the direction, nice big circles towards the front, and then gradually making the circle smaller. Now inhale, both arms forward. As you exhale, bringing the right hand towards the left shoulder and gently press that right arm across, still sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, arms forward. And exhale, left hand towards the right shoulder and gently press that left arm across. And now releasing, taking the backs of the hands, pressing gently into the ground. Just adding a light pressure here, warming up the wrists. And now releasing, counter stretching by pulling fingertips back towards you. And then switching to the other hand. And releasing, rotating wrists in one direction and then the other. Bringing the hands just below the knees, we'll warm up the spine. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, arching back just slightly. And as you exhale, rounding to a seated cat, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, rounding. And one more time. Inhale, making a nice long spine. Exhale, rounding. And staying here in your seated cat. And then making nice big circular movements with the entire spine, bringing it around the front and then around the back. And then reversing the direction. And bringing everything back to center. And coming onto our hands and knees. Further warming up the spine with our cat and cow pose, making sure your wrists are right under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. As you inhale, lifting the chin, dropping the belly to cow pose. And exhale, rounding to cat, tucking the tailbone of the chin under. And continuing, moving through cat and cow, using your own tempo of breathing, warming up the spine. And allowing the movement to be nice and fluid, starting at the tailbone and finishing at the crown of the head. And then bringing everything back to a neutral spine. Taking that right heel, flexing that foot and pressing that right heel strongly behind you, pulling that belly button in. And adding a balance to the pose if you'd like by extending that left arm. Really lengthen out through the fingertips. Press out through that back heel. And remembering to breathe. And now releasing the arm, keeping that leg extended. Crossing the right leg over the left. And taking your gaze towards that extended leg. And bringing everything back to center. And taking the left leg, pressing that left heel behind you, flexing that foot, pull the belly button in, your gaze is directly down between the hands, and adding balance by extending that right arm. And then releasing the hand, keep that leg extended and crossing it towards the right, and take your gaze towards that extended leg, stretching the left side of the body. And then bringing everything back to center. And sitting back onto your heels to our child's pose. You can either keep your knees together or apart. And then walking the fingertips away from the crown of the head, stretching the shoulders. And use child's pose to rest whenever you need to take a break. And now releasing. Walking the upper body back up and tucking the toes under, stretching the toes and feet by gently sitting back onto the heels. And then taking the hands, clasping the hands behind the back, opening up the chest, letting the shoulders come back and gently down the spine. And then bringing the chin towards the chest, holding the stretch for a couple breaths. Now releasing the hands, coming forward to our hands and knees, and gently lifting the hips to our first downward dog, taking it nice and easy here, still warming up the body. And then alternating the heels, pressing the right heel down, and then the left, stretching the calves. And now bringing both heels towards the ground. And walking your feet towards your hands, and your hands towards your feet, coming into ragdoll, holding on to opposite elbows, and just letting that upper body hang nice and loosely over the legs. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of the legs. If you're having any discomfort in your lower back, making sure your knees stay bent. If not, the knees can be straight. And then releasing the hands, keeping the belly button tucked in, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling back up the spine, taking your time, and letting the head be the very last thing to come up. And once you're all the way standing, making sure your feet are hip width apart, Inhale, bring arms forward. And as you exhale, let that right hand come behind you, twisting just the upper body, keeping that right hip forward. Inhale, arm back to the front. Exhale, left arm back. And inhale, forward. And continuing with your own breath, doing a couple more on each side. Maybe coming up onto the toes with every twist. If you'd like to challenge your balance. Once both sides are done equally, releasing the arms and coming into our mountain pose. Feet are either together or hip width apart, spreading those toes. Shoulders are back and down. Let those fingertips reach for the ground. Crown of the head lifting towards the sky. Tucking the tailbone slightly. Engaging the leg muscles by pulling up the kneecaps. And taking several nice deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, bringing arms overhead, grabbing hold of your right wrist, really stretching that spine nice and long, and as you exhale, arcing over to the left. Inhale back to center, reversing the grip, and then exhaling to the right. Inhale back to center, really stretch the spine long, and as you exhale, bringing the hands all the way back down. Okay, and we'll come to the top of our mat for our sun salutations, creating heat in the body, bringing hands to heart center, and just taking an extra breath or two here to bring your focus back to your breathing, making sure your thoughts aren't wandering away. Just gently bring them back. And with your next inhale, bringing arms overhead, lengthening the spine. Exhale, swan diving forward, nice flat back as you come down. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, stepping back right, and then left to plank. Lowering down slowly, keep elbows nice and close against the body. Inhale, scoop forward to cobra. Tuck the toes, exhale, downward dog. And pausing here in downward dog for 3 nice big breaths. Keeping those palms nice and flat, fingers spread. Heels are reaching for the ground. As the hips lift and the shoulders gently press towards the thighs. And now stepping forward with the left foot and then the right. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, standing forward fold, bring the head towards the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, coming back with a flat back. And then exhale, hands back to heart center. And we'll do 2 more, a little bit quicker this time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back left and then right to plank. Elbows stay close, lowering down slowly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And pausing again for 3 big breaths. And now stepping forward right, and then left. Inhale, lifting halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, standing forward fold, head towards the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come back to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. And one last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back right, and then left to plank. Lower down slowly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And breathing 3 deep breaths.
stepping forward with the left foot, and then the right. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Coming all the way back up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll go right into our V salutation, adding a chair pose in warrior one. Taking an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead, sitting back into chair. Exhale, hands to heart center, folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, stepping back left, and then right to plank. Elbows stay nice and close, lowering down slowly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg comes up. Exhale, step that right leg forward, back heel down, and inhale, arms overhead to warrior one. Exhale, hands come back down, step that right foot back. Lower down slowly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left leg forward, back heel down. Inhale, arms up to warrior one. Exhale, back down. Step the left foot back. You always have the option to also bring your knees down first, lowering down slowly. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And pause here again for 3 nice big breaths. And then from here, walking, stepping, or jumping your feet forward between the hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, standing forward, fold head towards the knees. And then bending the knees, swinging the arms overhead to chair. Take another big inhale to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center. And that is our sun salutation warm-up. Okay, we'll come into our standing balances, starting with our tree pose. So putting the right foot down first, really grounding that foot, spread the toes. Finding that one spot to gaze at with the eyes. And then taking your time, lifting that left foot wherever it needs to be for you for today. You can stay anchored to the floor for a little extra stability, or bringing it up to the calf, or maybe somewhere above the knee, just making sure you're not on the knee. Hands can come to heart center and stay there, or if you're ready, extending arms overhead. You can have the arms apart, or hands together, or fingers interlaced. And then releasing the arms. And releasing the leg. Nice. And then shaking out that standing leg. And then coming onto our other side. Spreading those toes. Being nice and grounded in that left foot. Take your gaze to one spot. And really focus on that one spot. Be strong in the core. Lifting that spine. And then bringing that right foot up to wherever it needs to go for you, for today. Making sure that knee stays pressed out to the side. When you're ready, you can bring hands to heart center, and only if you'd like, extending arms overhead. Make sure to smile every once in a while. Don't have to be too serious. And always remember to breathe. And then releasing the arms. And releasing the leg. Nice. And we'll go ahead and take hold of our straps for our next standing pose. So again, bringing our focus and attention to our right foot.
So taking the strap around the bottom of the left foot. And again, since this is a balance pose, making sure your eyes stay focused on one spot. And then carefully lifting that left foot up to whatever level is appropriate for you. The other hand can either come to the hips or just stay straight down at your side. And when you're ready, slowly opening up that left hip, bringing the foot to the side. Maybe challenging the balance by bringing your head to the right. And then bringing everything slowly back to center. And then releasing the strap, keep that leg lifted. Holding it up. And really think of a long spine here. Lift it a ½ inch higher, hold it, hold it, hold it, and then release. Nice. And shake it out. And coming on to the other side. The strap comes around the right foot this time. Again, remembering your gaze. Once you're ready and feeling stable, then lifting that right leg up. And then slowly opening to the right. Staying here. If you'd like to challenge the balance, bringing the gaze to the left. And then slowly bringing everything back to center. Releasing the strap, keep that leg lifted. Really stretch that spine. Hold it, ½ inch higher, hold it, and then release. Nice. Okay, we'll come back to the top of our mat and go through our warrior sequences. Again, bringing hands to heart center, and again, bringing your focus gently back to your breath. Connecting our breath with our movements. And inhale, bringing arms overhead, lengthen the spine. Exhale, swan diving forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back right. And then left to plank. And staying here in our plank, holding our plank. Pulling those abdominals in. Creating a nice long line from the heels to the crown of the head. You have different options here. You can always come down onto the knees as long as the abs are pulling in. Or even coming down onto the elbows to take the stress off of the wrists. It's another option. And taking one more nice big inhale. And as you exhale, bringing the knees down and resting for a breath or two in child's pose. You can either have the hands back by the hips or stretching them overhead. And then coming forward again to our hands and knees. Tuck the toes and lift the hips to downward dog. And now taking a big step forward with the left foot, let that back heel come down and windmill the arms around to warrior two. Making sure you have a nice straight line from the knee to the ankle. Back leg is nice and strong, shoulders are down, arms are extended. And releasing that back hand, flip the front palm and coming to reverse warrior. So that front knee is still bending. Right shoulder is relaxing down, stretching that left arm up. Inhale, back to warrior two. And bending that front arm, bringing it down onto that front bent leg. Inhale, right arm up. And as you exhale, bringing it right over the ear. And really try to keep the hip down here. And inhale, back to warrior two. Windmill all the way back down. Step that left foot back to plank. Hold a plank again. Keeping those abs pulling in towards the spine. Nice deep breaths here.
nice big inhale. As you exhale, lowering the knees down and taking a rest in child's pose. And then coming onto our hands and knees again. Tucking their toes and lifting the hips to downward dog. And now this time, stepping forward with the right foot. Let that back heel come down and windmill the arms around to warrior two on the other side. Release that back hand down, flip the front palm up. Inhale to reverse warrior. Inhale back to warrior two. Bending that front arm, bringing it down on the back knee, bent knee. Inhale, arms straight up, and as you exhale, bringing it over the ear. Creating a nice long diagonal from the heel all the way to the fingertips. And then inhale, back to warrior two. And windmilling all the way back down. Step that right foot back. And this time bringing the knees down and then the chest down and coming all the way down onto the belly. And bringing the hands back by the hips. We'll work on strengthening all these muscles along the spine. With your next inhale, lifting everything up off the ground. So arms, legs, shoulders, neck and head. Pressing everything up. Taking nice big breaths here. One more big inhale, lifting, holding, and releasing. And turning your head in one direction. And just letting everything go and resting here for a couple breaths. And now bringing everything back to center. And either doing the same lift again or grabbing hold of the ankles to our boat pose. And as you inhale, lifting everything up. Again, really use your breath. You should notice with every inhale how the belly presses into the ground. And inhale, lift a little higher, hold it, and exhale, release. And then bringing the head to the opposite side and just resting again for a few breaths. And coming forward again, bringing the hands under the shoulders and just taking a quick counter stretch in child's pose. And then coming back onto the hands and knees, tucking the toes, and gently lifting the hips to downward dog. Taking nice big breaths. And really let those heels sink down. Lift the hips up. Gently press the shoulders towards the thighs. And now stepping forward with the left foot. And then bringing that right knee down behind you. Trying to keep a nice openness in that back leg. And then propping your hands up onto that bent left knee. So you want to have the knee behind the hips as much as possible here. Really feeling a nice stretch in the quadricep and that hip flexor. And then sink everything down. Just let gravity sink the hips down. And then stay supported here, or inhaling arms overhead to a nice crescent pose. And then exhale, bringing the arms down. Shifting your weight back. So we're straightening that left leg. Bring the toes in towards you. Take a nice big inhale. Stretching the spine. And as you exhale, lowering over that extended left leg. You should feel that stretch along the back of the left leg now. And then coming back to center. Bringing your hands back up onto that bent knee. And we're going to take it into a twist. So taking your right elbow to the outside of that left knee, and then bringing your hands together at heart center. If you'd like to add balance to the pose, you can straighten that back leg, and then bringing everything back to center, tucking that back toe, and then stepping that left foot back to downward dog. And taking a big step forward with the left foot, let the back heel come down, and inhale this time to warrior one. So arms come straight up, your right hip stays forward, shoulders are forward, arms are either extended or can stay at heart center. And bringing the hands down to your hips, we're going to shift on to the left leg. So as that left leg is straightening, raising the right leg up and lowering that upper body. And really try to keep that right hip square to the ground. And you can either stay here with the hips at your side or extend the arms to warrior three. And then from here, bending that front leg and step right back to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, preparing for our triangle pose. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, extend, and then bringing that left arm down as the right arm comes up, really opening up that right shoulder. Your gaze can either be up at the sky, straight ahead, or down at the ground. And keeping the legs right where they are, just rotating the upper body, airplane wings to the side with the arms. Inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, continuing that rotation, bringing the right arm down, left arm up to reverse triangle. And bend the front knee, windmill the arms all the way around to warrior two. And then windmilling back down, step that right foot back, lowering all the way down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes to downward dog. And now from here, stepping forward with the right foot. Let that back leg stay extended, and then drop that knee down. Flattening out the toes, and come up onto that supported right knee. Really sink your hips down. You should really feel that nice stretch in that left thigh. And either stay here supported or inhale, arms overhead to our crescent pose. Exhale, hands come down. Shifting our weight back, straightening that right leg. Pull the toes towards you. Inhale, lengthen the spine as you exhale, lowering over that extended leg. You really feel a nice stretch in the back of that right leg. And then shifting forward again, coming back onto that supported right knee, and then taking a twist here. So we'll take the left elbow to the outside of the right leg, twisting towards the right. You can stay here, or perhaps extending that bottom leg, turning it into a balanced pose. And then bringing everything back forward. Bringing the hands down, keeping that left back leg tucked, stepping all the way back to our downward dog. And then taking a big step forward with the right foot. Back heel comes down, and then this time inhaling, arms straight up to warrior two on the other side. So this time the left hip stays forward, shoulders are relaxed and square to the front. And then releasing the arms down, shifting our weight onto that right leg. As the right leg straightens, bringing the upper body forward, lifting that back leg just as high as is comfortable for you. And you can either stay with the arms extended by your side or bringing them over the head. And then bend that front knee, step all the way back to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, preparing for triangle. Inhale. As you exhale, extending, and then bringing that right arm down and lifting the left arm up, opening up that left shoulder. And now rotating the upper body, airplane wings with the arms to the side. Inhale, lengthen the spine as you exhale, continuing that rotation, lowering the left arm, raising the right arm to reverse triangle. And bend the front knee, big windmill with the arms all the way back up to warrior two. Straightening that front leg and bringing everything forward to our five-pointed star. So bringing arms out to the side. And then bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, arching back just slightly, open the chest. As you exhale, hinging forward. When you're about halfway down, dropping the arms down to the ground. And then let the head gently follow. And just feel that nice stretch in the back of the legs. Let the spine be nice and long. And then inhale, look up halfway. Lengthen the spine. Center that right hand just under the face. And as you inhale, lifting that left arm, gently twisting to the left. Exhale, left arm down to center. And then inhale, the right arm up. Exhale, back down. And one more time, inhale, up. Exhale, left arm down to center. And inhale, the right arm up. And all the way back down. Bringing the hands back to the waist and slowly leading with the back of the head, coming back up to standing, taking your time. And then releasing the hands, bring the hip or the heels in, bring the arms about shoulder height, bending the elbows, opening up the hands to the heavens, and then as you squat down, making sure your knees come out over your feet. So you have to make sure that you're adjusted properly to our goddess warrior stance. And make sure you're tucking the pelvis just slightly to take some of the arch out of the back. Maybe going down just a little lower. And then slowly coming back up. Walking our feet together. And we'll take our yoga squat here, so adjusting your feet accordingly, and then bringing the hips down. Hands can come together. You can maybe use your elbows to open up the knees. Trying to keep the chest lifted. And then releasing the hands. And then releasing the bottom to the ground, extending those legs forward to our staff pose. So really pull the toes towards you, engaging all these leg muscles, taking the palms, pressing them into the ground at your hips. So really think of pulling the abdominals in, lengthening the spine, pressing the hands down, pulling the toes towards you, and taking several nice big breaths here. And one more big inhale. As you exhale, release. Shake out the legs if you need to. And then pulling the toes back towards you again. Belly buttons pulling in. Inhale, arms overhead, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, hinging forward. And then just let your hands drop. And the hands will land wherever they're meant to be. Wherever they are is perfect. And now bringing all of your focus to the back and to your spine. So as you inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, hinging forward. And using your own breath, just taking a few more breaths. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, folding. And going as far as you can for today. And once you've reached your limit, once you've gone as far as you can, then relaxing the head and the neck and just holding that stretch. Breathing into the areas that feel tightness. And as you exhale, see if you can release some of those tight areas. And then slowly working our way back up. And then coming into a wide V. Again, keeping your toes pointing up, spine is still lifting. So really think of the hinging happening at your hips here. So lengthen the spine on an inhale. As you exhale, slowly bringing your hands forward. And just really, again, working with your breath. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hinging just a little bit further forward. And going again as far as you can for today. And then once you've reached your edge, then relaxing the head down. Finding some areas to soften. Releasing those tense spots, just let it all go. And then slowly working your way back up. Bringing the legs together. And taking a few moments to do our abdominal exercises. So bringing our knees up, holding on to the back of the legs, and we're going to shift our weight back onto our sits bones, lifting the feet up. And you really want to think of a long line from the hips to the crown of the head here. Bringing your feet up, and maybe this is as far as you want to go today, which is fine. Keep those abs pulled in. Maybe releasing the arms, maybe extending the legs. All your decision how far you want to go. Just make sure you're breathing. Really pull those abdominals in. One more big breath if you can. And exhale, release, tucking the legs in. And we'll do it one more time. Holding behind the legs, tipping back, finding that balancing point, and bringing our feet up, this time keeping the feet here, clasping the hands in front of us. Take a nice big breath, inhale. As you exhale, twist and hold. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction and hold. Inhale to center. Exhale one more time. Inhale, center. And exhale. And inhale, hold. And release. Good. Okay, go ahead and grab your strap again. And just come into a comfortable cross-legged position, whatever is best for you. And we'll just do a little bit of shoulder stretching here. So sitting up nice and tall and taking the strap between your hands and making it nice and long at first. And using the breath here, inhaling, lifting the arms. As you exhale, bringing the strap behind you. And just working with your own breath with every inhale and with every exhale you're moving. Maybe inching the hands a little bit closer every time. But just let this be a very gentle movement. Trying to keep your elbows straight. And just going as far as you can without overextending. You want it to be a nice stretch, but not past what's comfortable. And then doing one more rotation. And then releasing the strap. And then bringing our knees up again.
Inhale, bringing your arms forward. Again, pulling the abdominals in slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Releasing down onto the spine. Taking your time here. And once the spine touches completely, extending arms overhead, lengthening the legs, really pull the body in opposite directions. Full body stretch. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest. Rocking gently side to side if that feels okay. And then bringing our knees down close to our bottom, setting up for our bridge pose. So pressing the hands in and arms into the ground, making sure your heels and your knees are in line with the hips. As you inhale, lifting the hips and keeping the knees apart as if you're holding a block between them. Keeping a little space between your chin and your chest. Making sure the head does not move from side to side, keeping the spine and the neck in alignment. One more big inhale, lifting the hips a little bit higher. And as you exhale, lowering down, we're going to go right back up to another one. So inhale, and then exhale, lift. You can extend the pose by clasping the hands and walking further onto the elbows, the shoulders. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, coming back down, tucking the knees into the chest, rocking again if that feels okay. And then grabbing hold of the big toes for our happy baby pose, bringing the heels up towards the sky, knees gently pressing towards the ground, opening up the thighs and inner groin. And then maybe, if it feels okay on your spine, rocking your baby side to side. Giving that spine a nice massage. And then bringing everything back to center. Clasping hold of the right knee into the chest, extending that left leg straight. And keeping the left hand around that right knee, extend that right arm. Taking a nice big inhale. As you exhale, lowering the right knee towards the left, keeping that right shoulder pressing into the ground. And just keep that hand on the knee. We're not pressing into it, just an extra little weight there. And then maybe taking your gaze towards the right. Feeling nice, gentle spinal twist. Still continuing to breathe gently. And then bringing everything back to center. Switching, bringing that left knee in, extending the right leg. Extending that left arm. Inhale, and as you exhale, letting the left knee fall down towards the right. Keeping shoulders pressed into the ground, and maybe gazing over towards the left hand. And bringing everything back to center. And one more hug into the chest with the knees. And then bringing everything down to our final relaxation pose, our Shavasana. So making sure you're comfortable here. Covering up with a blanket or a jacket, putting your socks on. Whatever you need to do to be completely comfortable. You can be on your back, on your side, or sitting up.